You're welcome to my channel, Mindset Academy, where we want to develop the given figure that is displayed at the right hand side of the screen, right? So the first thing we are going to do is to draw back the given figure that you can see at the right hand side of the screen. So let us do that. So I'll move this. And I'm going to draw an horizontal line this way first of all. Can you see that? Then the base of that shape you see is 64. So I'm going to take out 62 from 64. So this is 0. I'll take out 32 in order to get my 64. Hope you can see that. And when I place it at this point here, any point of your choice, so that point I'm picking out should be, let me call it my point B. Then from point B, I'll mark to get the center. Then I'll come from the center here. I also mark to get point A. Can you see that? Now once I've done that, let me zoom it up. I will now tick in. Just draw your line from here straight down here. Hope you can see that. Now with the help of my instrument this way, I will draw a vertical line across the center. Just reproducing the figure we have there. So when I have this, that is the center that we have. Right? Then the height is also given to be 64. So that means if I should take from A to B, which is 32 plus 32, that's 64. Right? I'll just place it at the center here. And I'll just mark 64. So you bring it down. Hope you can see that. Or you just measure 64 on your instrument. Now come here. And I'm going to draw a faint line from here to this point. And I'll draw another faint line from here to this point. Hope you can see that. Now the next thing is I'll measure a distance of, this is the center we have here, right? So I'll measure a distance of 3 away from the center towards the left. So this is 0, right? This is 0 here. This is 3 here. Hope you can see that. That's 3 we have. Can do that again. Yes, that's 3 we have. And I will now draw a vertical line across that point, 3 millimeter. So this point you see is my point 3. So on that line of 3, you now measure a height of what? Of 8. So I will now come here. If I start from 1, right? So I can easily measure a height of 8 here. So this is 0, is 5, 6, 7, 8. This is the height of 8 here. So this point you see is the point that I need to draw my arc of radius 12. So I'll just measure a distance of 12 from my middle rule, from 0 to 12. Can you see that? And I'll place it on that point, which will be the center of the arc I want to draw. Then I'm going to draw this way. Just watch that and see. I'll stop here. Right? Can you see that? So after I've done that, the next one again is I will now measure another distance away from the center, and the distance is what? 6. So from this center here, 0, I'll measure 6, and this is 6 here. And I'm going to take it upward, faint line. Hope you can see that. Let me make it more visible. So that line you see that I drew, then on that line, then I'll do something wonderful. What will I do? With the radius of 12 that I used to draw this arc we have here, I'm going to place it on this point here. Then I'll mark on that arc. Can you see that? Then I'll take it here. Then I'm going to draw a semicircle like an arc. Hope you can see that. Then I am going to now taking this from here to this point. And I'm also taking this from here to this point. And I'm also taking this from here to this point. This is what we have. So if I say here is A, here is B, and I come here to be my point C, depending on what you want. Point C. Right? So that is the first step that we are doing. And the next thing that we're going to do is to start developing. So the first step of development is to divide the base, since it is a cone, right? So you divide the base into 12. What will you do? The base of the cone has a circle, and we know a circle is concentric. When I place at the center, the main center, I'll take it to this point here. We only ask for development, so I don't have to draw a complete circle. So I'll just draw half of that is the semicircle, faint line. So with the same radius I used to draw it, I can place it at this point here. I'm going to mark left and right, and then I place it at this point here. I'm going to mark down. I'm going to place it here also. I'll mark down with the same radius all together. So with what we have, I will now take my instrument. Let me see, this is B, so B will be 0.0. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And the question you should ask me, why am I starting from 0 here? Why not 0 from here? That is the question you're supposed to be asking me. The reason why I'm starting from 0 here is because my seam means the part you are cutting open, the part you are spreading out, because development means you are spreading out. So my seam here is A. So this is where I'm cutting open to open this wide open this way. Are you with me? So if I do that, that's why I'm starting from 0. Assuming they said here is the seam, here will be my 0 coming from here. So I'll come here and I'll join from 1 straight to the center, from 2 to the center. 3 is already there. Then we have 4 to the center. We have 5 to the center. Right? That's what we have. Now you will now project those points straight ahead to this point here. It's already there. Can you see that? Then I will now project it to the apex point here. So from here to the apex, from here to the apex, from the center is already there, from 2 to the apex, then from 1 to the apex. Hope you can see that. So the next thing is for us to do. I will take it up a little bit this way. Let me take it down and still take it down this way. Hope you can see that. Then I'll take my meter rule and I'll place it from this, my compass, place from point C to point B, right? Then I'll draw a semicircle this way. Hope you can see that. There is a semicircle that I am drawing. So I will now divide the circle because this is the circumference of the circle, right? So if I should divide the circle into this arc into 12, means that what? That is the length of the arc here. So if I should come from here and not take the division here, any of the division, either I take 0 and 1, or I take 1 and 2, any of them. So I want to start from anywhere. I don't want to really start from the main circle. So I want to have a new point 0. So this is my new point 0. I can easily start from here, but I want to start from here. Now from 0, I'll go to the next one. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Right? So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is what I have here. Then the way I used it to move towards the center, then I'll move each of those points to get to that center point there. So this is what we have. Now, after we've done this, so the next thing that we'll be doing is, there are many things we can do here, is every point that is touching here, I am going to project them to touch my side of my circle. This is one way to do it. Or if you don't want to do it that way, just come here from point C to this point here. Can you see that? And that is on the line of what? On the line of 0. So from that point C, you mark on the line of 0. This is 0, and this is what? 0. Can you see that? So we have two zeros, 0 here and also another 0 here. I'll come again from point C to the next point, which is here. Can you see that? And that is on the line of 1, where it meets here. So from here, I'll mark on the line of 1. So this is 1 here, and this is another 1 here. So we have another 1 here, and also 1 here. If I come again, it's touching 2. I'll come here, 2.2. So I'll mark on the line of what? On the line of 2. So this is 2 here, and this is what? 2 here. Can you see that? So this is 0.2. You don't have to write all this. And this is another what? 0.2. Then look at 3. If I come here, this is 0.3 here. Can you see that? On the line of 3, where it intersects this shape, I'll mark on 3 here, and also 3 here. Can you see that? This 3, and this another 3. Then if you look at this, I can also come here again. And this 0.3 is also cut in here also. So 0.3 has 2 points. This is another 0.3 here. Can you see that? So I'll come again on the 0.3, I'll mark 0.3 and 0.3. So 3 have 2 points. So this is also 3. This is also what? 3. And we move forward. The next one is, there's no another one again. Okay, no other one again. Now what we'll now do next here is this. From 0 to this point here, right? To 0 to in between 2 and 3. That's what I want to do. So this is in between 2 and 3. Are we correct? So I can just from here take this down. See what I want to do? This is in between 2 and 3, where it meets here. So I'll bring it down. So where it touches here, that is from 2 to 3 or 3 to 2. If I'm moving from 2 to 3, let me call that point to be point Q. So if I'm moving from this point here, is point what? Q. So if I'm moving from 2 to Q, right? Moving from 2 to Q, then I'll come here from 2 to what? To Q here. And from 2 to Q here. So this point you see is my point Q, and also my point Q. So I'm moving from 2 to Q, depending on how you want to move from. Now I don't have much information. There's still a lot of space I have to fill up to ensure accuracy. So what I'll do is I'll just pick any point in between 4 and 3. Let's say this is where I'm picking here. Just any point at all. Then you join your line. Just join the line between 4 and 3 to the center. And you project it up to touch the base. To that point, let me call it arrow. So you project it up to touch the base. So where it touches here, then you take it up also to go and touch the midpoint here. So what do you notice? So my arrow have 2 points also here and here. So how can I get my point arrow? So I can just take it from 3 to from 3 to arrow will give me my point arrow, abi? So from 3 to arrow, so it's going towards 4. So from 3 to arrow here, and from 3 to arrow here, because it's going towards 4. So on that point, that's where I'm going to draw my line to touch C. From here also, that's where I'll draw my line to touch C. This is my point arrow here. right? So if I want to now mark that, I'll now come to this point C. I'll go to where it touches here. There is arrow. So I'll come to the line of arrow, which is this arrow here, and also this is the other arrow here. So I have arrow here, where it touches arrow, and where it touches arrow also. For arrow have 2 points. The line of arrow has 2 points. So when I come here, C, to the next point of arrow, I'll mark again on the line of arrow. I hit this point on the line of arrow, this point. So this is the line of arrow, and this is the line of arrow. Now aside that, so just pick a point. Let's say between 2 and 3, I'll pick a point here. This the midpoint of 2 and 3. Are you with me? Then I'll take it up toward the center, first of all. Then I'll take it up. So it's meeting here. Then I'll take it up. So once you've done that, this is 2, and this is where it's meeting here. It's meeting here, and it's also meeting here. Take note of these 2 points. That is my line of what? Q, right? And I also already have my line of Q here. So if I pick in between 2 and 3 at the midpoint, I'll draw it to touch my C. At the midpoint, I'll draw it to touch my C. Let me just call that point, let me not call it point Q, let me call it point T or point X, right? Point X here, and I also have the point X here, depending on what you want to do. So if I just come here, I come to here on the point of X, I'll go to the point of X, I'll mark. I have 2 points, and I'll mark here also point of X. I'll come down to the next one, point of X here, still on the line of X. Then I'll come to this here, I'll mark X. And I'll come here also, and I'm going to mark on X. Can you see that? So with that, we can now start drawing. I can easily use my French curve, but I'm going to use my hand, right? You know very well that from 6 to Q, the first Q here, I'm going to thicken it. And this is where Q is, and this is where Q is. So I'll thicken from here straight down to here. That's where the Q is. Can you see that? And the next one is from this point, from 0 to 1, I'll join it. This is my new 0. And from 0 to 1 also is here too. Right? And I'm going this way. Just come here. Then here also. Can you see that? That is what we have. That is the development of that figure. I can easily thicken it out if I want to. So that's development of the figure here. When you cut this open, this is what you're going to be seeing. So if you found the video helpful, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and also share the video. Thanks for watching.